YouTube? I'm Darren with Grass Ranch Garage, and today we're going to be installing that electric PTO clutch on that 1990 Simplicity Sunstar from our previous videos. And here's the clutch from the previous videos. It's already adjusted and ready to be installed back on the mower. To install this clutch, you're going to want to line the key on the crankshaft to the keyway on the inside of the clutch, and simply slide the clutch over the crankshaft. Now just line your keyway up with your key on the crankshaft and slide the clutch back until it engages. Just like that. Now take your 5/8 bolts, there should be 4 of them, and insert them through the clutch and secure the back of the clutch to the engine block. To tighten them up the rest of the way, you're going to need a 5/8 socket, an extension, and a ratchet. I do not have the torque specs offhand right now, so just use simple reasoning when tightening them. You do not want to over tighten them. You could strip out the holes in the engine block. After you have all the bolts snugged up, go back in a crisscross pattern and tighten them up. Also, before tightening, it's a good idea to make sure your cables are free for your electrical connections and not bound up between the plate and the engine. Now, because the crankshaft bolt was seized in the engine and it broke clean off at the head, we're going to go through a different process of securing the end of the crank. This is the original spacer that came with the mower. This is a new spacer that I purchased. You'll notice the new one is cut down shorter than the old one. It fits over the crank the same. And you place the new thinner flat washer over top and secure with a lock nut. And that's what it's going to look like. Now quickly I'm going to take that off and I'm going to anti-seize the crankshaft and then slide the clutch back on. I will also be using Loctite on this nut. And since this clutch is a serviceable part and it has to be removed, the Loctite I'll be using is blue Loctite. If you use red, you'll find out that it's quite hard to remove later on if you have to service this clutch. And just a dab will do you on this. You don't have to go crazy with it. It'll seep down around the threads and get moved around when you place the nut on. And then you simply tighten up the nut on the end of the crankshaft. If you manage to get your bolt out without it breaking, then go ahead and run your bolt, spacer, and flat washer back on there. You do not have to use Loctite, but I would recommend it. And in case you're wondering, this is an 11/16 all metal lock nut. They're a little thinner than a nylock, work just as good, and it's the perfect fit for this application. And after you have everything installed, you can go ahead and hook your wires back up. There's one on each side of the PTO. There, and over here on this side. This connector appears to have gotten broken off at one time. Somebody replaced it with a standard female spade connector, but that's fine. It works just as well. And there you go. You've installed the PTO clutch on your Simplicity lawn tractor. I'm Darren with Grass Ranch Garage. Get out there and enjoy your weekend.